So here's the last one of these little kind of explainer type videos. We've already covered central governor theory, this idea of Professor Tim Noakes proposed that there is a limiter that stops us physiologically blowing ourselves up by stopping us via fatigue from going too deep to a point of no return. And the same idea from Dr. Dan Siegel, who kind of proposed the same idea emotionally, that there's this kind of limiter that stops us kind of being able to blow our fuse completely and lose all emotional control. So the last couple of things I want to talk about before I combine them all together and look at how these models might actually impact us both physiologically and psychologically in terms of like performance. Like it can help our psychological performance and our physiological performance is something called hauntology. So this is an idea first proposed by French philosopher Jacques Derrida in his book Spectres of Marx. This idea that places and things kind of hold a social, cultural and personal significance from the past that we bring into the future, or when we revisit something, or if we play an instrument that belonged to somebody famous, or we play in a recording studio that was a famous track was recorded in, there's this kind of idea that it's in the walls somehow, or in the instrument or whatever. But it also kind of influences the future, and this idea of lost futures, the idea of what could have been, the sliding doors moment. And I think we can all relate to this. We all have certain places and certain things that are significant to us and are meaningful to us, and actually may make us feel a certain way, whereas actually ultimately they're just inanimate objects or they're just places. And the other idea I wanted to talk about very briefly is something called the Significant Objects Project. And this is by two journalists, Anthropological Experiment by Rob Walker and Joshua Glenn. Essentially what they did was they were interested in how important stories are to us as human beings. It turns out very significantly. In short, their idea was that they took 100 items that they got from like charity shops, thrift stores, etc. And the average price for each of the items was $1.25. So they essentially spent $125 on 100 items, and it was all tat. It was complete rubbish, jugs with broken handles or little fabric dolls and things like that. So essentially just complete junk. But what they did was they got hold of friends of theirs that were journalists and novelists and poets and things like that, and they essentially sent them a picture of this object and asked them to write something about the object, come up with a story, completely fabricated. Some people wrote very involved stories that were very overt and obvious what the object was, the significance of this object. Some of them are much more abstract. However, the point is this: they took the photo of that item and the text that the writer wrote about it, they put it on eBay, and essentially that $125 worth of items returned over $8,000 worth of revenue. The point being that as soon as a story, some sort of significance was attached to this item, it became much more meaningful to anybody, whether it was fabricated or otherwise. It's completely human, isn't it? It's not a thing. Like, this wedding ring is only significant to me. Like, its sort of pound value is probably in the tens, I'd imagine. I think we paid 70 quid for it. But, I would literally, I probably wouldn't go into a burning house to retrieve it. I'm not that stupid these days. But I would move heaven and earth to try and reclaim this if I could. One of these other rings, less so. Like, they don't have as much significance because this is my wedding ring. And I'm sure we all have items at home that we would endeavour to try and salvage over other ones because they have more significance. But actually, this mug that great granny gave me compared to this mug that was given to me, by the cycling club or whatever, one has more significance. And if you were to say one of them, it would be the one that great granny gave you. I'd hope anyway. Those are the models. We've got central governor theory, limits us physiologically. We've got the window of tolerance that limits us emotionally. Then we've got this other world where there are places and things that hold a level of significance. Now, when I come back to this, when we talk about this next, I'm going to talk about how these things can all combine and why it might be the key to sort of greater performance than we're used to. This challenge on a day-to-day basis, almost on a minute-by-minute basis, is either really easy or really difficult. I know, for instance, that as soon as I edit this video, today is going to feel really easy because I've done the workout and I'm filming the video now. But right now, at this moment in time, it seems like such an uphill battle. It's such a roller coaster, this, I've got to say. Each day has its own kind of like personality now, and each part of each day has its own kind of personality. If I can get my workouts and like the videos done before lunchtime, God, I'm a happy person. It's all I feel free if I manage to get them out of the way and sort of just reclaim the day to myself. I have to admit, right now, I am looking forward to this coming to an end, but I will do everything I can to finish it. Anyway, see you tomorrow.